to the University of Plymouth. Welcome to SOUP. This is our 8th SOUP event. We started these about a year ago. In that time, we've supported 30 odd businesses. Irrespective if they win today, we try and support all the businesses that pitch here and integrate them into the university's support services. We've had over 1,000 attendees. You, the crowd, as I will now collectively refer you as we go through. Late night watching the general election, bear with me. Not enough coffee. Thank you all for being here. Thank you also to our pitchers. We've got 3 pitchers for you today. Unfortunately, our 4th one couldn't quite make it. Again, probably a late night watching a general election that petered out. We are thrilled that we've been sponsored today by Francis Clark. Thank you very much for them. We've also got sponsorship from Devon Chamber and also the Formation Zone and the Futures Entrepreneurship Centre. So thank you very much for all of them. You can clap that bit. There you are. Brilliant. Brilliant. For those of you who've not been to a SOUP event before, let me give you a bit of a potted history. These started out in Detroit. Detroit now in the States is being renowned for a centre of entrepreneurship, and the model has been pushed out across the States and into Europe and including all across the UK. It started because Detroit had a very strong manufacturing base in terms of car and steel production. That fell into terminal decline, and as that fell into terminal decline, unemployment rose and crime rose. So grassroots entrepreneurship and innovation started in the States through the SOUP model. In essence, people came along, they paid $5 for a bowl of soup, and they listened to 4 businesses pitch. And at the end of it, they just took their empty bowls and they put it on the table of the business they liked the most, and that business won all of the ticket sales, and they were then enabled to have a little bit of cash to start and run and grow their business. And this is the model that we're doing here today. Granted, we are not in a burnt-out car manufacturing plant in Detroit, we're in a university. This is, though, what knowledge exchange is all about. Because the research that came out of the States was that actually it's great to win £500 or whatever dollars they had there, but actually the reality is that the real benefit for the businesses that came, and they're here, the businesses, came from you guys behind. The knowledge that rests within your minds and the connectivity that's then made in the room is what the real value add is to these businesses that pitch here today. So, let me tell you, standing up here and pitching about your business is no mean feat. It can be a bit scary, so we are an incredibly positive crowd, aren't we? Yes. Don't spill the soup. We're a very positive crowd, so the format of how this is going to go is that I will invite each of the pitchers onto the stage. They will pitch without the safety net of PowerPoint or bribes or demonstrations in any way for 4 minutes. They will then, at the end of 4 minutes, and you'll see the 4-minute countdown on the clock behind, cue Debs, to add to the extra jeopardy. At the end of the 4 minutes, you, the crowd, will be invited to ask up to 4 questions. The questions that we're going to ask of these very brave pitchers are questions that will elicit a little bit more information. This is not a Dragon's Den type environment. As I said, we're all friends here, and we just want to understand a little bit more about the businesses and give them a chance to explain a little bit more. All 3 pitchers have promised me that they will be very succinct in their answers and will not take the advantage of your questions to deliver a further 15 minutes worth of pitch to you. Okay, so with no further ado, I would very much like to welcome Helen Newcomb, who's the founder of Davy J, and actually the winner of the last SOUP, onto the stage to give us a quick 5-minute update on where you are, what your highlights are, and what your lowlights are. Ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm Helen Newcomb, founder of Davy J Swimwear, which is a women's active swimwear brand. And I suppose the key part and the big storyline behind what I'm doing is that all the nylon in the swimwear I make is actually regenerated from waste. So it comes from fishing nets, it comes from carpet fluff, it comes from plastic. It's all regenerated into what is essentially the same as virgin nylon, and I make new swimwear out of it. So I pitched back in November. I'd actually only come along to an event the week before just to try to get to know a few more entrepreneurs in the business environment down in Devon. Got invited to come and pitch and won, which was fantastic. And the £500 I won went towards doing, well, I suppose it mainly went towards my photo shoot in March. So I managed to persuade some three crazy girls, one of them's in the room, to put on some swimsuits and get it in the Devon Sea in March, which was cold. Since then, we've launched a business. I launched last month, start of the month. Sales have been going really strong. And we're in Manor magazine at the moment, a really nice big feature there. In Devon Life coming up, and I've got some great kit reviews coming out of Outdoor Swimmer. I'd probably say to the pitchers, take every opportunity you get because you don't know who's in the audience. And I've spoken at a few events and you just never know what's going to come out of it. I'm part of the Game 20 setup, which is fantastic. It's really, really important if you're looking to set up your own business to find other people that are doing the same, because trust me, you need some moral support along the journey. If anyone has any questions about my brand, I'll be outside afterwards, but just a massive good luck to these guys and make the most of the opportunity. Okay?
Thanks, Helen. Two quick things to say before we get into it. Helen mentioned the Game 20. The reason the university does these kind of events is it helps us flush out the businesses that we'd otherwise not have the opportunity to work with. And the reason we want to flush them out is that we're looking for some very, very specific type of entrepreneurs to help form a network, which is the Game 20. It's been running for over a year, it's been hugely successful. Each one of the 20 businesses that are there, the entrepreneurs, they all think and solve problems in a very unique and different way to the other 19. So the winner of today will be given an introduction to the Game 20. We get an awful lot of applications, but we are looking for a very specific type of mind that when they're sat around the table, they can problem solve in a completely unique way to the other 19 people that are there. In essence, it gives them a 12-month, fee-free, non-exec director board of some of the most talented and innovative brains that we have across the Southwest. The other thing I want to mention is that we are in here to hear the pitches. As soon as we've gone through the question and the pitches, we will then go back out into the foyer. We'll have a period to network, gives you an opportunity to ask further questions of the businesses for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be using our voting cards. Show me your voting cards to vote, and then we'll make an announcement of the winner very shortly afterwards. That's enough from me. Ladies and gentlemen, would you put your hands together, please, for our very first pitcher for today's suit.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Corey Barton and I'm the creative director at Feisty Crab Studios. So we aim to make virtual reality a more social experience. So that's a bit buzzwordy, so what does it mean? So virtual reality is a new and emerging market. So game developers in general are kind of still trying to learn how to bring these games out and how to get more people playing them. So at the moment, say you've got virtual reality and you want to play with your friends, you have 2 to 3 options. You can either all buy a headset, which is very expensive, and you know who's got all that money to play a couple of games, or you can sit there and watch your friend play for 10 minutes and then kick them off and have a go yourself. Or what a lot of games are doing nowadays is where they offer multiplayer, but it's the same kind of gameplay, but you're just not in VR. So one example being, say you have a first-person shooter and you're in virtual reality, so you know you're running around shooting stuff all over all directions, you're having a great time, and then your friend's doing the same thing over in the corner on a controller, say, where it's just not as fun. It's the same experience, so they're just sat there thinking, when are they done so I can have a go? So what we aim to do is kind of improve this by offering a separate experience for the people who aren't in virtual reality. So one example, we have a game we're working on where the virtual reality player is standing on a podium and he just has to stay on that podium as long as he can. So the people with controllers is what we're using. They control cannons that are surrounding the player and they just have to knock him off the podium. And when he dies, you rotate and you have a go in VR, say. Another example being, we have a virtual reality player exploring a dungeon, and they have to find some treasure, reach the goal, and they win. But it's not that easy. Their friends are controlling traps in the dungeon and monsters who try to kill him so that he's no longer in VR, so maybe they can have a go. So the key idea with this is, whilst someone is in VR, you're in VR, your friends are doing something else, and they're not just sat there thinking, when can I play? So our reason for doing this is we're just starting out as a company. We've just finished university. I think last week is when our last deadline was. And we've just got settled in the formation zone. So all of our money has currently gone to the hardware, because as I said, these VR headsets are quite expensive, and then you need the hardware to run and develop these games. So I'm looking for funding to increase our brand awareness. We want to promote what we do, and we need the funding to do that. And we're also looking to improve the games so that they're a bit more polished. And yeah, we'd love for virtual reality to increase in popularity. And we feel, as of right now, a lot of people are just thinking, I can't afford to buy this because it's too expensive and there's not many games and I have to play by myself or my friends watch me. So we think by offering this kind of separate experience for them, people will be more inclined to buy VR headsets and hopefully our games, so that they can play with their friends and they're not just really jealous, just wanting to kick them off so they can play VR. So thank you very much.
Nicely timed. Have we got a roving mic? Yeah. Sorry. All right. Questions, please.
Yeah, I just wondered if there's any more information, whether it's just yourself or whether there's a bigger team at all.
Okay, sorry. It's myself and two other colleagues, one of which is here, and the other is off in America, sadly. But yeah, we're a three-man team.
Next question. Verity?
Sorry, this probably isn't relevant, but I love your name. I was just wondering how you came up with it.
Okay, so that's actually not as fun as it sounds, actually. We were thinking what to call ourselves, and we couldn't think of anything, so we just Googled random name generator. And after running through it a bunch of times, I think Feisty Crab came up, or maybe like a combination of those words, and we thought, yeah, that's really funny. We thought we'd get a few laughs saying the name, so we just went with it. Thank you.
Lloyd's got one, but I'm going to ask one because Lloyd's already asked one.
Yeah, go for it.
Describe succinctly, what does the ideal customer look like?
They can be anyone, really. Just anyone who loves virtual reality and they're looking to...
How big's that market?
That's a good question. I think... I've lost all the knowledge now that you've asked, but I think virtual reality itself... it was like £5 million or something last year, something like that. There's a decent amount of money in there. Yeah, sorry, I can't remember the direct values, but in case you're wondering, like for our genre where someone's in VR, other people are doing something else, from our research there's maybe 20 games that do that, so I think it's very new and we have an opportunity to run in there and start something new.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude to Lloyd.
That's
I
all right.
wanted to hear his question, but I wanted to get him first.
That's fine, Richard. You completely stole my question as well. But a related one was, what sort of target markets have you identified?
Okay, so it's mostly young adults, because they're the kind of people that are really into this kind of stuff, and obviously we want to target families so that you can because it's multiplayer and there's separate experiences. You can say have your son or say in VR and then you're playing against him, or swap around as a family night. So yeah, families or young adults, just anyone who wants to play VR with other people.
That's 4. Ladies and gentlemen, the Feisty Crab Studios. Keep clapping as we invite our next pitcher to come to the front, please. Pitchers.
Hi, I'm Stephanie and this is Gareth and we're from Your High Life Limited. I'm currently a marketing student at Plymouth University and I've also got business experience.
I'm a full-time soldier within the Commando Brigade. I've got years of experience doing managerial and team building as well as adventurous training activities. So myself, Stephanie and our family, we share a love for the outdoors, climbing, getting out there, tenting and being active within the beautiful environment that we're surrounded here, especially in the southwest. We bought a tent that we built the business around, and basically we loved it and we thought this is fantastic and there's a massive gap in the market, and from a Saturday afternoon idea on the beach it has evolved into what has now been launched. And our lifestyles basically become our living. As you've already heard, modern tech is massive in the world at the moment, from Xboxes, PlayStations, even the mobile phones designed to keep people on the move and connected out there. It's tying people to the screen, and by being tied to the screen, they're not being as active, they're not getting out there and exploring, but at the same time, people are getting out there and they're using this mobile tech to have adventures, to do extreme things, and by doing extreme things, the people that aren't getting out there and doing it are now wanting to do it and take part. Therefore, we've created a generation of extremists that want to get out there and they want to do the next action junkie thing they can do to share on social media. Because of this, in the last 4 years, we've seen a 9% rise in activities in the outdoor market. This ranges from the lone guy wanting to get out there and do some crazy climb soloing with no ropes, no protection, all the way out to the families wanting to get out there and have a family weekend bonding together around the soul activity.
And that's where we come in. We offer extreme tenting, suspended tent teamed with outdoor activities for from the adrenaline junkie to a family that just want to be outside and experience outdoor activities together.
Probably you've got the traditional tents, as they're quite bulky, and you're limited to the ground and the comfort that you can pitch it on, especially out on Dartmoor. Trying to find somewhere level and stable for you to put a roll mat and have a comfortable night's sleep is an issue. With our tents, a lot of people will comment, and we've had a lot of feedback saying that people love the tent, however they're too scared and feel that they haven't got the skill set to set it up correctly and therefore safely spend the night in it, suspended. Therefore people are discouraged from doing it themselves. Therefore we've thought out of the box and added accessibility to this type of tenting and to the outdoor activities that we'll provide. It's a new tent, it's still in its momentum phase, so the industry for the tent itself is still growing. We've combined the new with the old traditional type tent, and we're combining them together to create a highly addictive opportunity.
So Your High Life tenting, so basically we pitch a suspended tent for you in a location of your choice from our carefully selected locations, where then you can come along. So we supply the tent, you come along, spend your nights in the suspended tent, and then followed by outdoor activities such as rock climbing, abseiling, mountaineering, guided walks and survival training.
Pretty quickly, so we're currently a registered company, we're a distributor for the tents, we've got the backing in, mentoring of Plymouth University, we've got other collaborations with local southwest businesses, and we're helping interact with each other.
Questions, please.
Hi, and could you just explain a bit more how you sustain the tents? Is it from trees or is it from a...
Yeah, from trees. So they can be suspended not very high at all, so 4 foot or up to, what we said, 60.
The height's the limit. So trees, as long as the tree has got a trunk width of 15 centimetres, that's deemed secure enough. And then with my climbing skills, you can go up in a traditional anchoring belay. There's a lot of companies out there now doing the climbing hammocks that you pitch to a climbing wall have been around for years. So using a similar sort of thing, as long as I can get a triangular anchor point, then the tent can be set up from anywhere from 4 foot to the top of the Everest, if you will. As long as you've got that triangular pattern to set the anchor points, then it can go anywhere.
Hi there. What happens if there's no trees?
If there's no trees and there's no sort of rock faces or formations or anything like that, kind of stumped, it can still be used as a traditional tent on the floor. You just don't, then you lose the suspended activity. However, all of our locations have been recce'd, we've visited them, and they've been chosen for iconic location, the views, the surroundings, and that is why we'll provide it in that situation.
So with our choice, the positions that you book, we've already recognised, we know that we've got somewhere that we can put them. If you wanted to buy a tent and put it up yourself,
So I can't take one to Glastonbury with me.
What, to get it off the wet floor? Absolutely, that's the thing.
There's trees at Glastonbury, sure. I'm sure you'll be able to find some.
I think you'll be lucky.
I'm going to throw two into one. How many other distributors are there in the UK of these tents, and how much are they?
We'll be the fourth in the UK, but we are the only company in the UK that will put them up for you.
And so are you selling both the tents and the experience?
We're selling them as well. Our thought behind that was that if somebody came along, wanted to try them out and then wanted to buy a tent, we didn't want to have to send them elsewhere. At the same time, we'd much rather people used us than put them up themselves. But by being able to sell them, we've got that there. And we've already said, haven't we, that people within a certain area, if they've bought the tent, we're quite happy to go along and to help them set it up for the first time so that they know that they're doing it the right way, which is a service that you don't get from any of the other distributors.
And to answer the cost part of it, so the hammock side, which is just either a mesh or a sheet, sort of chill out part, they range from about 140 to £200, and then the tents themselves, depending on whether you want the flight, which is a small 2-man 4-season backpacker, all the way up to the Trillium or the Connect. The Connect then be sold as 3, it becomes a trilogy system. That's 6 people and basically you can have a tenting community. They range up to £420 each, and then to buy as a system, it drops the price individually per tent to about 380. Obviously then there's the big outlay because you're buying 3 plus the canopy then.
I've got one more that isn't one from the audience. There is one from the audience.
Hi, so just to confirm, you're not actually making the tents, you're reselling the tents?
We resell, yes.
You're reselling them. And what sort of margin will you be making on the reselling of tents? And also, you're only setting up the tent the first time, yeah? And who's setting up the tents? Because I would imagine to make it scalable, you'd need more than you two to set up the tents.
We've picked certain locations so that we can put. So we've limited ourselves in the first place to 5 different locations, which means we can put more than one tent up. It takes us 20 minutes to put a tent up. So with the bookings in place, we would already know how many tents we needed to set up. But when we did our forecast projections, we made sure that we took out the cost of us putting up the tent so that if we had more bookings in more places, then we've got enough money to pay somebody else that we've trained to go and set the tents up for us.
Okay, so you're just putting them up in certain areas? So
it's just in certain areas at the moment that we've reckoned, so we've got an agreement with the Forestry Commission, so we're using Forestry Commission land.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for those great questions. Thank you for your high life. That was excellent. Keep clapping, folks. It's our final speaker.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me? My name's Jerome Kennard. I'm currently a Plymouth University student who studies business, enterprise, and entrepreneurship. My company is called Early, without the A, name's taken. So what we do is we bring students who are looking for work experience, and we connect them with businesses who are looking to grow. The best way to describe this, I think, is by using an example, and the example I use is, let's say you have a student who comes to uni, let's say her name is Kate, for example. So Kate comes to uni, she realizes she needs to find a side job alongside her studies to help pay for food, rent, nights out, etc. So what most students do is, in Kate's example, is they would find a side job like waitressing or something completely irrelevant to what they're studying, a bar job, for example. But they also realize they need to fit in valuable work experience related to what they're studying. So what if there was a way where Kate could, through Early, what the service we provide is we allow businesses who are looking to grow to post projects so students like Kate can apply for these projects to work with. So let's say Kate studies web design and a restaurant in Plymouth has it opening up a new restaurant and need a website. They can then hire Kate and then pay on a paid per project basis, hire, and then Kate receives valuable work experience. So they post a project, Kate accepts it. At the end of the transaction, what happens is the work experience that Kate does for this restaurant is reflected on her digital profile that Early creates for her. So what we do is we not only measure the work that she's done, but the business who hires her fills out a survey based on her performance, and these are transferable skills that future employers would want to know, such as her time efficiency, what she's like to work in a team. These are credentials that students need to build while they're at university, and what we're aiming to do to give future employers a new hiring metric for students that are going to university. So that when they graduate, they have this early portfolio that they've built alongside, they've been getting paid, and they've been building up the valuable credentials that they need. So I'm pitching in front of you today, and what we're going to use the £500 for if we win would be, we've been chosen to exhibit at a Google conference next week, and the money would be going towards tickets as well as promotional material for that and transportation there, which is a great opportunity for us, and we're looking forward to it. We've already had a lot of interest from local businesses, and a good example I'll give you is the city, Plymouth City Council has posted a project with us about they need a new website, which we've then managed to find them a student to do. And all this will be automated, but at the moment what we're doing is we're doing the manual connections. Also, Formation Zone and Santander are opening up sort of a new department called Starting Post, which we found students to design the new logo for. And there's been projects from a lot of local businesses that are posting projects with us looking for students. And so what Early is essentially trying to do is bridge the gap between students who are trying to find valuable work experience at uni and getting paid, and businesses who are looking to grow but may not have the resources to do so. So thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Where does your revenue come from?
So, when people post projects, we manage the projects because these are students who aren't fully qualified yet, and the businesses would love for us to be able to manage that project so they don't need to worry and they make sure they're getting the work done. So we would charge a 10% commission per project based on how much they're paying the student, and that would just be our service fee. And also, I've spoken to three of the higher institutions in Plymouth who are showing interest in paying for a subscription for our service to incorporate once the product is fully developed. And we're hoping to develop it when we get investment at this conference next week.
So how do you plan on marketing Early to students?
I think if we're incorporating this service into universities and they're paying for this subscription, the universities and ourselves could easily use the communication channels they already have with their students to promote this service to their students. I think the marketing to the students would actually be quite easy. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just wondering what your ambitions are. Obviously, you've got some projects going on here in Plymouth.
Yeah.
What's the sort of future thoughts?
Definitely nationwide, but I think Plymouth is the perfect place to start because quintessentially Plymouth loves to promote, on top of the agenda is employability and promoting enterprise within the local community. So I think quintessentially early is what Plymouth University is trying to achieve, and we want to be able to use Plymouth as a pilot, Plymouth University as a pilot to then scale to other universities in the Southwest, and we hope when we develop the product within 2 years we can be in all the Southwest universities, and then nationwide 5 years down the line.
What's the payment transaction process? Who do, say me as the business, who do I pay? How does that bit work?
Yeah, so contractually, when the student and the business goes into a project, we handle all that contracts online, so they both agree. So we're taking care of the student mostly and the business, so the student definitely gets paid. So we would hold that payment in limbo sort of, and then once the project is complete and both parties are happy, then transfer that payment to the student.
Cool.
Yeah, and with then take out 10%.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's it, that's all our pictures. We're going to leave this room, we're going to go back out into the foyer. We're going to spend 10-15 minutes having a chat to these businesses and giving them an opportunity to tap you up for whatever support that you might be able to offer them. At that point, I'll give you a 5-minute notice warning and we'll then make our votes. Shortly after that, maybe 5-10 minutes, we'll then announce the winner. Thank you very much again.